video showing the overwhelming firepower of the U.S. and Israeli militaries as they continue to hammer Iran's defenses. CENTCOM is reporting our forces controlled the skies and destroying Iran's arsenal with, quote, lethal precision. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany. Here is my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Caroline Downey, National Review columnist, Cheryl Casoni, Fox Business anchor and host of American Dream Home on Fox Business, and Lawrence Jones, co-host of Fox & Friends. Well, let's start here. As the conflict intensifies, the State Department says it's working around the clock to bring Americans home from the Middle East.
We've seen 20,000 Americans be able to return to the United States since this began, including 10,000 Americans that have been directly assisted by that task force. Bottom line is this: if you're an American in the region that is looking to depart the region, please call +1-202-501-4444. We are working 24/7 to bring you home.
A new video posted last hour shows B-52s at work. CENTCOM explaining these bombers have been used in every major conflict since 1965, including Operation Epic Fury. During the first 100 hours, these planes struck Iranian ballistic missiles and command and control posts. And the B-52s joining the U.S. and Israel's aerial assault, with military officials reporting the Iranian regime's ability to impact other nations in the region is, quote, rapidly declining. But Iran is still trying to fight back. This video was taken in Azerbaijan this morning. Azerbaijan says 4 people were hurt when several drones landed in civilian areas near the Iranian border, including near an airport and a school. Iran denied responsibility, saying, quote, we do not attack our neighboring countries, including Azerbaijan. Oh, wait, but Iran has now attacked 12 countries in the region so far.
Our commitment to liberation and our allies is what the Islamic Republic feared most. So stay consistent and also recognize that this is the result not just of our decision now and our incredible dedication to seeing it through, but for letting it happen for so many decades.
You know, Cheryl, I want to play this. We have that list. Let's pull it up. Lawrence, absolutely laughable to suggest you don't attack neighboring countries. The list of 12, as you can see here, everyone from the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. The list goes on. Once again, as I said yesterday, proving they are not a rational actor when you're attacking 12 countries.
Well, it's proven the president's point, as well as Israel's point. You know, some of the countries that they're attacking are considered allies of Iran. Take Turkey, for example. Turkey isn't like some of the other countries that have been saying things privately that they won't say publicly. This just shows you, if they act this way with the little missiles that they have, what would they have done with a nuclear weapon? I think this is the president's point right here. And I think this also goes to the larger conversation that the president tried to get peace. He talked to a lot of Arab countries, the Muslim world, brought them together. But you got to remember, that was Iran's goal. They wanted to unite the Muslim world. They wanted all Muslims to be radicals. And a lot of them chose their economic prosperity instead of that. That's why they're attacking airports. That's why they're attacking hotels, because this goes against everything that Iran wanted from the very beginning. At the end of the day, we know where this ends. You got a president of the United States who is clear-eyed. You got a Secretary of Defense that has the support of his generals right now, and they are doing surgical strikes, and it's working. And we'll see how this ends if the Iranian people finally get that chance once they get the weapons, and I think there's going to be some reporting on that very soon. Once they get the weapons and it can operate internally, that's when the game is really going to be changed.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, Emily, I think he hit the crux there when he said, if you're going to attack 12 neighboring countries, what are you going to do with a nuclear weapon? I want to put this up. CENTCOM posted this morning. This is 100 hours of Operation Epic Fury. You can see all of the U.S. military assets that have been used against Iran. But I think a key point here is many of these assets were surrounding Iran for weeks, and they pranced into a meeting, a diplomatic meeting, and said, we have enough uranium to build 11 nukes while you're staring this down?
Well, I think what we saw there was an audacity, an emboldenment that had been fomented under the prior administration, and frankly, with many prior administrations before that. Right now, we we are seeing sort of a wild animal lash out in its final moments. But there has been not only meticulous planning with a lot of cells and proxies by Iran, by the Islamic Republic for quite some time, but also there's been an arrogance because they haven't ever been held to account. Because we are still funding terrorist cells, right? That's being held up in the Senate right now. We are still funding to the tune of $83 million a year, a week, the terrorist activities here. So I think, of course, why wouldn't they have thought that they would be blessed in their endeavor? Now, finally, they have been met with the clear-eyed vision and the incredible forces of us and our allies. And to sort of underscore my point, just 9 hours ago, Pakistani forces destroyed both Al-Qaeda and Taliban sort of headquarters or in that central area in Kandahar. And up until now, we've been told, oh, they don't work together. Remember, Al-Qaeda is separate from ISIS, is separate from certain, in TTF. So the reality is that under the sort of looking the other way and the fomenting of their emboldenment has been them rising up and has been them fostering relationships, and then through the open borders, slipping their way in here. So a prepared citizenry is the thing that terrorists fear most. And the American might, and
As moments ago, we have new video of these strikes over Tehran. You're looking at them, there's explosions lighting up the night sky. This is happening, in real time, essentially.
Yeah, this is the thing we heard from the Secretary of War earlier this morning, the precision strikes that are happening, whether it is missile silos, whether it is the headquarters of the RIGC, whether it was the strike that we saw over the weekend, of course, when the Iranian leadership was taken out. The utter stupidity of the Iranians right now, I find incredible but not surprising that you would go after the GCC the way that they have. This is the complete wrong move. That's one issue. Also, we have to talk about the incredible ally we've got in Israel right now and the military partner that we have with the Israelis right now. They have shown the power and the progress that you can find in technology in this new age of war. A lot of the airport strikes that we've been watching happen over the last few days, whether it was Abu Dhabi or the strike outside of the Dubai airport, those were drones. Cheap drones that they were buying from other countries. Certainly, that's one issue. Also, you got to back up and look at the macro story here. It is unbelievable what the Trump administration has done. Think about it. You take out Maduro, you're basically paralyzed any Iranian exports of oil, which we'll talk about later. That hurts the Chinese because the Chinese have been buying 80% of the oil from Iran that they were exporting to fund these terrorist organizations. The Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of these groups are on their heels. We've completely upended and we are reshaping the Middle East. I say that from someone that wants to see economic prosperity, that wants to see the continued growth of Dubai, of Doha, of Kuwait, that wants to see stability in Iraq with the Kurds, who deserve, I think, at this point, that stability. It is an incredible moment in our time, I think.
It is. Trump is resetting the world order. That's what this comes down to. He has remade the world order in a way that is better and more positive. Caroline, CENTCOM said this: the two most powerful air forces in the world are dominating the skies over the world's largest state sponsor of terror.
Yeah, my dad graduated from West Point in the 60s. My nephew is actually there right now, and they still teach cadets Clausewitz rules of war. One of the most important being, you have to destroy the enemy's centers of gravity, which is exactly what our Air Force, what our military is doing right now because we have air superiority over Iran. And I think it's worth emphasizing again that Trump is overturning this toxic idea that Iran can attack our American troops and civilians for 47 years through its proxies without any retaliation. That was a ludicrous idea, and he finally put a stop to that. Now, there's been some criticism, specifically from the left, about the timing of this operation. And what I would say in response is there ever a perfect time to decapitate the head of a poisonous snake? There's never a bad time, but there's never an ideal time. What Trump did, which was different from his predecessors, Obama and Biden, is he saw the circumstances on the ground were pretty bad for Iran. They are weak, their economy is crumbling, hyperinflation, internal dissent, they are vulnerable. And he said, well, now is a good time to strike and finally put an end to this very backwards regime. And that, again, is overturning what his predecessors did, because all they wanted to do was accommodate Iran by pretending to hit them where it hurts with sanctions, but then quietly allow them to rebuild. That's not what Trump's doing. Trump called their bluff and finally allowed them to stop rearming.
Yeah, if not now, when? What, when the religious fundamentalists get nuclear weapons? Yeah, and it's mutually assured destruction, except the other side is not afraid to fire a nuke. That's not the right time. So well said, Caroline.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.